YouTube. Today I'll be doing another quick book review. Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win by Jocko, Willink, and Leif, Babin. I hope I didn't screw those names up. But anyway, I learned about this book from the Joe Rogan Experience, the podcast, when Jocko Willink was on there. And I heard him speaking about another book, and I didn't really pay attention, and I just looked up his name and ordered this book. But these two men basically explain how they learned a lot about leadership skills when they were in the field of combat situations, and decided to make a book about those skills. And they also have a consulting firm, I believe. I'm not sure of the right term, but they guide businessmen and teach them the leadership skills and that they learned, and so that they can apply it to their business team. And if you're thinking about it, being in combat, it's really crucial to have an intense situation, and it's crucial to have your team performing at its best. In businesses, it's not as intense or crucial, but when your team is performing at its best, you see the reflection in the business. So it's good to have those skills so your team is running efficiently. And if we take a look at the table of contents in here, and you'll see a list of all the principles of leadership that they talk about. You'll see extreme ownership. Okay, I believe. Check the ego. Okay. All this stuff. And I'm not going to go over each of these, but I will go over a few of them just to give you a brief idea of how the book is set up and some of the contents in it. But in each principle too, they give an example in combat situations where they had to use this stuff, and they give examples of businesses that they've implemented these principles into and how it helped them in each situation. But extreme ownership, that's basically owning up to things that you do wrong, even when it at first might not feel like you did anything wrong when you're working in a team, and you're like, oh, that's not my fault. But you sit back and you look at the situation, you could usually see that there's something that you did wrong in a roundabout way, or there's something that you could have done differently, or to make the situation better. And they talk about how that becomes a good thing to do, because to your superiors or your boss or whoever, they look at you they don't look at you as the guy who's trying to play the blame game all the time. Every time something goes wrong, oh, it's not my fault. And instead, you're looking at the situation and taking ownership of it, and trying to do better the next time, and come up with a plan so that you succeed the next time. And they prefer that over somebody who's just passing the blame to somebody else. So that was something I liked about that one. No bad teams, only bad leaders. I like this one. They tell a story of SEALs who were competing in a race. And in this race, they had several teams, each consisting of 7 men, and with one man being the leader. And the teams had a race while carrying these boats over their heads. And as they race, they have all these races. They notice that one team keeps winning every time, and one team keeps coming in the last place every time. And so they wonder, what if we switch the leaders of each team? The worst goes to the good team, and the leader of the good team goes to the crappy team. Well, when they did that, all of a sudden, the team that was doing crappy started winning all the races, and they noticed it was the leadership skills that that person had. That was they had a great attitude and encouraged the team, and had a great team spirit and everything that helped them to win the races. And that was why each team he was on, and they were doing so well. And I kind of like that story. And then they give examples of that in the combat situations and in the business world. That was something that they learned. And another thing they talk about in that chapter is one of them talks about how when he was doing the boat races back in the day, when he would be leading, instead of trying to drudge through the whole thing, he would focus on like a tree or something and tell them just to that tree and stuff, and giving them encouragement, like, come on, do your best to get to that tree right there. Then once they reached that tree, he'd pick another landmark out and tell them, hey, keep going until we get to that point. And he'd do that throughout the whole distance they had to do, because and he talks about how when you're looking at something short term, it's a lot easier to accomplish instead of looking at, oh man, I got to go that far. And it's the same thing when in the business world, or when you have goals in general, to look at the little things you could do that lead up to the big thing you're trying to do, and knocking those little things out will help you feel good, and that you feel like you're getting something accomplished, and you'll feel good about it. And another thing is decentralized command, and in that chapter, he talks about when you have a team, you're the leader, or you're a superior or whatever. You could be the leader, but you also want to instill the leadership into all your employees, or so that they have the skills to lead as well. So that if you're not there, or you can give responsibilities to them, and then you can worry about other things. So I thought that was pretty true, and yeah, if you're wanting to do good things at work and stuff, like I've gotten some kind of ideas from this, but I'm not sure if I want to implement them or not. But like, it seems like a good book for leadership in business, and if that sounds interesting to you, go check it out. You can get it on Amazon or anything. You know how to get your books. All right, have a good day. Bye.